service your coffee machine, first we need to open the cup dispenser. Obviously, if you don't have any cups, fill it up to the top, close the lid, open the coin bin, unplug the hoses, the one for the irrigation and the 3 for the whippers. Slide out your cup grate, basically slide it out. Then you can remove the tray hose. Basically you just lift a little bit from the front and then you're gonna feel how it comes out loose and then slide it out. This doesn't need any force or any clips to get it out. And the draining tray, basically just lift it out of the place. And this gives you room to remove the cup and the elbows. A trick that I like to show is basically you can flip this one to the side. It's just so you don't drop any product when you're getting it out. So just lift it, grab it from the middle, and then just lift the top. This is the product exhaust. Basically, there's a fan in the back where when there's powder coming in and it's brewing a cup of coffee or it's dispensing powder, it sucks out the dust and the humidity just so it doesn't go into the nozzle and the product doesn't get hard. And so you're gonna see a little bit of powder in there sometimes before you clean it. This you lift. This is the cup. The cup has a hose in the middle, so you just gotta be careful with that. Make sure you grab it so you don't pull it all the way out. See, it goes in here. When putting it back on, obviously you gotta make sure that the hose goes in. If not, you're not gonna get any water, and then you're gonna have an issue. And twist the elbow clockwise, and then you can wiggle it a little bit, and it comes out. And throw this in hot water. Make sure it dissolves. Make sure you don't use anything to scrape the surfaces. That will basically that will cause the product to get stuck. Do the same for all 3. Lift, grab the middle, pull the hose, grab the elbow. Lift, grab the middle, and then twist, and it comes out. Put this aside for now. Next step is going to be to get the coffee grounds. We suggest to keep a bag in there, that way it makes it easier to service. Just grab the bag, throw it away, and put a new one in. Then you have a waste bucket. This is where the water that doesn't go into the cup falls into. So this is it could get a lot of water in there. So you gotta throw this away and clean it up. This will have an automatic stoppage by a switch, so it doesn't allow it to overflow. And when this is full, you're gonna get a message saying that the machine is out of service because the solubles are full. And last, if you have this option, obviously, fill up the tank with water and make sure that the hose, when you put it back in, the hose is all the way at the bottom. That way, the pump doesn't get any air into it. And last but not least, will be the irrigation system. Now, this piece, it doesn't have to be serviced every time you go to the machine, maybe once a month, but it all depends on the usage of the machine. But it comes out pretty easy. At the bottom, it has a pressure hose. You twist it, you're gonna hear a click, and then pull it down. This hose has an O-ring in there, so you gotta be careful not to lose that O-ring when you take it out. Then grab the gold knob, unscrew it out, and that is it. Now, to put the machine back together, we gotta take into account something that is very important. Now, we have a little hole here on the irrigation system. Keep this hole in mind all the time. Now, this little pin over here, it has to align with this hole over here. If it doesn't align, you're gonna get this to jam up, and obviously you're gonna have an issue. So, very important. Align this little hole with that pin. Step number one. Once you have it on there, screw the knob, make sure it's nice and tight. Not too tight, but just enough. Then this hose only has a one way in, so you gotta play around with it a little bit and make sure you align it in there, and you're gonna feel when it goes in. Once it's in, you're gonna twist it again and you're gonna hear another click. If you try to pull down, it's already secure, so it doesn't come out. Okay, so now that we clean this out, we put it back in. Make sure that the float is in the tank. Slide it back in. Put your trash bag in. Then we're gonna put the tray. This is basically where the water falls and it drains to the bag. It just sits there. It should be in place. See, there's no gaps in between. So, okay. Then we can do the tray where the hose is. This one goes into the rivets on the side. You have one rivet, two rivets here. And it sits on top of this. You're gonna go in. You shouldn't be able to pull it out when you pull straight once it's in. Then we put the cup grid. It has a lid that has to go underneath this part. So when you put it in, it slides pretty easy. And last but not least, then we can do the elbows. Slide them back in. We can do the cups. Remember, the hose has to be in this little hole. You have to make sure. Slide in. First I worry about the hose, then I align it, and then I push all the way down. Hose, align, push down. Hose, align and push down. And last, we call the exhaust. Goes in. Shouldn't have any gaps in the middle, so you're gonna feel it when it's not all the way in. And plug every hose back in. To make this service quicker, we sell a kit which it consists of all these parts, so you can just go to the location and do a quick swap and then worry about cleaning them later. That comes with all these little cups, the hose tray, the grid, that tray, and an empty tank. It doesn't include this piece because this piece doesn't have to be cleaned as often as everything else. But yeah, that would be the way to service your machine real quick.